Hey there, Pulse Check. You're tuned in to Digital Pulse. Today, we're diving deep into this Shah Rukh Khan interview.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was so excited to dig into this one.
I know, me too. And you know what struck me right off the bat was just how candid he is.
Yeah.
You know, he's
always...
a Bollywood superstar, global icon,
Mm-hmm.
but he's talking about his career, about resilience, about the things that really matter.
It's refreshing. Like this isn't just your typical celebrity fluff piece.
Right.
This gets to the core of what drives him, what he's learned over 30 years in the business.
And that word perseverance.
Yes.
He keeps coming back to it.
Absolutely.
And he even compares it
to pizza.
to making the perfect pizza.
Yes. Which I love the thought.
So relatable.
It's that dedication to the craft.
Yeah.
Whether you're on a film set or in the kitchen trying to perfect your sourdough.
It's about showing up every day, putting in the work.
Exactly. And, he's definitely faced his share of challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He talks about losing his parents at a young age and how that really shaped his outlook on life.
Mm-hmm.
He had to be resilient.
It wasn't a choice. It was a necessity. And you can see how he's channeled that early experience into navigating the film industry.
Which is brutal.
Oh, totally. Friday releases are like Judgment Day, hit or flop, and then Monday you start all over again.
It's a roller coaster.
It takes serious resilience to withstand those highs and lows.
And he seems to have this very specific way of dealing with that pressure. Did you catch that part about his Thursday night bath ritual?
2 hours. 2 hours. It's got to be more than just a quick scrub.
I know. Come on, spill the tea, right?
Right. Like, what's going on in there?
Candles, bath oils, the works.
He plays it coy, though.
Oh, he does. But I kind of respect that.
Me too. Like, even global superstars need their boundaries.
Exactly. It keeps the focus where it should be, on the work.
For sure.
And speaking of his work,
yeah,
he never actually set out to be the seller of dreams.
Really?
He wanted to be an action star.
Yeah. Get out. I never would have pictured that.
I know. But somehow he's become synonymous with hope and happiness on screen.
It's funny how that happens, right? Like the audience sees something in you, connects with it, and boom, an image is born.
And nobody does those grand romantic entry scenes quite like Shah Rukh Khan.
So true. And his kids even tease him about it.
But he owns it.
As he should. I mean, come on, it's iconic.
It's true. It's all about not taking yourself too seriously.
Right. Especially in a field like entertainment, a little humility and humor goes a long way.
Speaking of which, I think we have to address the elephant on the red carpet.
Oh, here we go.
Why hasn't SRK made it big in Hollywood?
Right. It's the question on everyone's mind.
He says he's never been offered any meaty roles, which is surprising.
It is surprising. You'd think with his talent and global recognition.
I know, right?
But, it's more than just Hollywood casting. He turned down Slumdog Millionaire while he was hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in India,
Oh, interesting.
Like, he's making a choice here. Elevates the cinema of his home, not just chase global fame.
It's a good point. He talks about genuinely wanting contestants to win on that show.
I love that.
Even though some of those questions...
Brutal. Right, brutal. It shows his character, though, right? Like, even in the cutthroat entertainment world, he's rooting for people.
That's true. So we've talked about the highs, but even Shah Rukh Khan has his share of lows. He takes a 4-year hiatus after a string of flops.
4 years. Wow. Okay, so this is where the pizza making comes in.
This is where the pizza comes in.
Classic self-discovery mode, am I right? Stepping away from the pressure, finding solace in something new, using that time to reflect. It's like hitting the reset button, but on a much larger scale.
And he's really open about what he learned during that time.
Like what?
He says he got caught up in innovation, lost touch with what his audience loved about his work.
Oh, wow.
It's so easy to do, right?
It is. You get caught up in your own head trying to be cutting edge, and you forget about the heart of it all. Connecting with your audience, that's key.
It's a balancing act for sure.
It's that classic thing, right? The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know. And admitting that...
Especially when you're Shah Rukh Khan.
Exactly. It takes guts.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it clearly worked because he comes back from that hiatus with 3 blockbuster hits in a row.
See? Told you that reset button works.
Talk about a comeback story.
It proves that taking a step back, reassessing, it can be so powerful. You don't have to be stuck in the past. It's about evolving.
And he's not done evolving either, right?
Yeah.
Like his ultimate dream, he says, is to make a film that transcends languages and borders, a truly global cinema.
I love that. And honestly, it makes sense, right? Like we've been saying this whole time. He wants to connect with people on a human level.
It's not just about box office numbers.
Exactly. It's a much bigger vision.
Speaking of big,
Yeah.
did you catch that part where he casually mentions wanting to be James Bond?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. He even jokes about being, and I quote, brown enough for the role.
Ah, Shah Rukh. I love it.
It's playful, but it also kind of speaks to this whole conversation about representation in Hollywood.
100%. And the fact that he's even putting it out there, shows he's thinking about it. He's got those aspirations.
He's playing the long game, which actually reminds me, did you notice how he keeps saying Indian film industry instead of Bollywood?
Ooh, good catch. I didn't even pick up on that.
It's subtle, but I feel like it's important to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's acknowledging this whole rich history of Indian cinema.
Right, not just this one slice of it.
Exactly. It's bigger than Bollywood. It's about legacy.
And that awareness of legacy, you can feel it in everything he does.
Totally. Whether it's the roles he chooses, the way he handles success, even those Thursday night baths.
Don't forget the pizza.
And the pizza. It's all very deliberate,
Like every decision is a conscious one.
Yes. And that mindfulness, that ability to reflect, I think that's a huge part of his longevity.
For sure. I mean, the film industry is brutal, constantly changing.
So true.
But he's adapted by staying connected to himself and his audience.
And you can tell he really cares about the craft of filmmaking.
Oh, absolutely.
He's not just trying to be a star. He wants to tell stories.
Stories that stay with you.
Exactly. And that passion, it comes through in everything.
Totally, from the way he talks about his characters to his willingness to push those boundaries.
Right, like that 2-hour bath, it's not just about getting clean.
It's about cleansing the mind.
Exactly. It's creating space for something new.
Creating a ritual.
Yes. Separating work from life.
100%. So you can fully immerse yourself in the creative process.
It makes me think we could all use a little bit of that in our lives.
Right.
Even if it's not a 2-hour bath, finding something that helps us de-stress, recharge.
For ritual, a boundary, whatever works for you.
We've talked about his work ethic, the creative process, those moments of self-doubt. But what really gets me about Shah Rukh Khan is his humility.
Isn't it amazing? It's so genuine.
Like after all these years, all the success, he's still so grounded.
Totally. You don't get that sense of entitlement.
No.
That I've made it swagger.
Yeah, he's not afraid to be vulnerable.
He talks about his struggles, his doubts.
His pizza.
Even the pizza, it makes him so relatable.
Exactly. Like he's just being himself.
And that's really refreshing to see.
Totally. Especially at that level of fame.
It's like he hasn't bought into his own hype.
No, not at all. It speaks to his character, his values.
In his family, too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He mentioned how supportive they were when he stepped away from acting.
They seem really important to him.
Yeah. They helped him realize that it's not just about being a star, it's about storytelling.
I love that part where he talks about feeling lost.
Yeah, like he'd stopped hearing the crowds.
It's such a powerful image.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about staying connected to your purpose, your audience.
Your why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in being innovative, striving for perfection.
But you lose sight of the connection. Totally. Sometimes you have to take a step back and just listen.
And for Shah Rukh Khan, it seems like that connection comes from wanting to spread hope and happiness.
It's amazing when you think about it, right?
Talk about a full circle moment.
Yeah.
From aspiring action star
Can you imagine?
to the seller of dreams.
With those iconic entrances.
I know. But hey, it speaks to his range, right?
Absolutely. And his willingness to not take himself too seriously.
Which honestly is a good lesson for all of us.
100%.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, any final thoughts? What can we learn from Shah Rukh Khan's journey?
I think the biggest takeaway is perseverance,
Never give up.
Exactly. No matter what you're chasing, that ability to keep going, even when things get tough, it's crucial.
And when those setbacks inevitably come,
View them as opportunities, right? To learn, to grow.
don't be afraid to try new things, to step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly. Find what works for you, what helps you recharge, refocus.
Like a 2-hour bath ritual.
Hey, if that's what it takes, it's about creating those rituals, those boundaries.
To help us show up as our best selves.
Yes. And never lose sight of what truly matters, The people we love, the work that inspires us.
The legacy we want to leave behind.
Beautifully said. This was great. I love deep diving with you.
Me too. Until next time, stay curious.
And keep exploring.